Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lin. Namaskar. Coming up in the next hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs the first meeting of the governing body of the Anusandhan National Research Foundation. He says the focus is on localized solution for global problems. India's External Affairs Minister Jaishankar addresses the annual Ambassadors Conference of the German Foreign Office in Berlin, seeks enhanced defense cooperation. Pakistan is on the edge. At least 6 MPs from the jailed former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's party appear in anti-terrorism court. A major setback for Apple, the tech giant loses the EU tax case. The court rules that it received illegal tax benefits from Ireland and must pay 13 billion euros. Prime Minister Narendra Modi presided over the first meeting of the Anusandhan National Research Foundation's governing body. The ANRF will work on futuristic areas such as mobility, advanced materials, sustainable agriculture and health tech. The Prime Minister posted on X that the body will ensure greater collaboration between academic research and industry, driving growth and innovation. Let's look at this report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the inaugural meeting of the governing board of Anusandhan National Research Foundation, ANRF. This foundation comprises notable Indian scientists, researchers and nodal agencies, aims to advance research and development while nurturing a culture of innovation across India's universities, colleges, research institutions and R&D labs. Prime Minister Modi called the inaugural meeting a new beginning and encouraged the team to set ambitious goals and pursue groundbreaking research. He emphasized that research should aim to find innovative solutions to existing challenges, noting that while problems may be global, their solutions must be tailored to meet India's specific needs.
Through the Anusandhan National Research Foundation, the government has strengthened the importance of inculcating research culture in our higher education system to tap the vast untapped human resource potential in our HEIs for boosting research and innovation in the country.
The foundation provides strategic direction for scientific research, aligning with national education policy, promotes collaboration among industry, academia, government departments and research institutions. Prime Minister discussed the need for upgrading and standardizing institutions. He talked about developing a dashboard where information related to research and development in the country can easily be tracked.
ANRF will lead to a quantum jump in research funding. This is very welcome given the increase in the number of academic institutions and the expansion of existing institutions. This increased funding will also enable the government to adequately support the research endeavors of state universities. Once industries pitch in with substantial additional funding and support, as anticipated, the impact will be even larger.
Prime Minister Modi highlighted the positive impacts of Atal Tinkering Labs and discussed areas of importance like climate change, battery ingredients for electric vehicles, among others. ANRF decided to launch a hub-and-spoke program by pairing universities where research is at a nascent stage with top-tier established institutions in mentorship mode. The foundation aims to globally position India in key sectors, aligning R&D with national priorities, promoting inclusive growth, capacity building, driving scientific advances and innovation ecosystem. Priority areas identified include electric vehicle mobility, advanced materials, solar cells, smart infrastructure, health and medical tech, sustainable agriculture and photonics. The governing body directed that the foundation strategy should align with the goals of Viksit Bharat 2047. Bureau Report, DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the Semiconductor Executives Roundtable at his official residence in New Delhi ahead of tomorrow's Semicon India 2024. Prime Minister will inaugurate Semicon India 2024 on Wednesday at the India Expo Mart in Greater Noida in Uttar Pradesh. And Semicon India 2024 aligns with the Prime Minister's vision of transforming India into a global hub for semiconductor design, manufacturing and technology development. The three-day conference will bring together leading global figures, companies and experts from the semiconductor sector. And India is gearing up for that groundbreaking three-day event focused on the future of semiconductor technology, Semicon India 2024. It kicks off in Greater Noida, which is near the national capital, on Wednesday, bringing together industry leaders, experts and key government figures. Now, with over 250 exhibitors from around the world, this event is going to position India as a potential global semiconductor hub. Let's look at this report.
Themed Shaping the Semiconductor Future, Semicon India 2024 is a landmark event that aims to boost India's semiconductor ecosystem. With support from the Ministry of Electronics and Information and Technology and the India Semiconductor Mission, the exhibition is set to showcase the country's strides in electronics and semiconductor development. But the event is about more than just technology. It is about positioning India as a future leader in semiconductor manufacturing. Even though India's semiconductor industry is still in its early stages, the government has big plans. Several new semiconductor plants are under construction, including facilities in Gujarat and Assam. The Modi government has committed over $1 billion to boost the semiconductor and display manufacturing industry, with the aim of making India a self-reliant global power in this critical sector.
When Modi ji rolled out his vision about semiconductor nation, and subsequently then there were policies announced by very important two ministers, Ashwini Vaishnav ji and Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji. They really thought through what India should do about semiconductor.
The Indian government's production-linked incentive scheme is a major driver behind this push, attracting investments and creating jobs. This industry has the potential to create 25,000 direct and 75,000 indirect jobs in the coming years. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also on many occasions emphasized how important semiconductor production is for India's long-term technology goals.
So far, as you know, we have had very good traction. So, first project was Micron, which was approved. It's an ATNP. It is approved for almost 22,000 crores. And then came the Tata Fab. They are partnering with Taiwan foundry, one of the major foundry players, PSMC. And also Tata is coming up with one OSAT facility in Assam. Also CG Power is coming up with a OSAT facility in Gujarat. And their technology partner is Renesas Japan, which is a big name in semiconductors.
Semiconductors power everything from smartphones to cars. As India accelerates its manufacturing plans, this industry could be key to reducing import and India's dependency on other countries for this critical technology and in turn boosting local production. Dibyendu Mondal's report for DD India.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar highlighted the reforms being taken in India to meet investor expectations. India, he said, has been growing at 8% and has the potential to sustain that momentum into the foreseeable future. The minister was in Germany on Tuesday and addressed the German Foreign Office. Dheeraj Das tracks his engagements.
India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, who is in Germany on the second leg of a three-nation visit, addressed the diplomatic community and business leaders at the annual Ambassadors Conference of German Foreign Office in Berlin on Tuesday. Addressing the conference, Dr. S. Jaishankar stressed on the importance of good strategic relations between India and Germany.
We must also recognize the reality of interdependence and the limitations of our particular respective national capabilities. In a globalized existence, instability anywhere has consequences everywhere. It is untenable, therefore, for major nations to limit their horizons. But to act on that, it is necessary to forge partnerships and understandings. That is best done where there is comfort, where there is confidence, and where there is convergence.
India's External Affairs Minister also spoke on India's significant transitions in infrastructure, digital, skills, technology and energy sectors.
There is a very sharp realization at the highest levels of the government that we have to make India a more business-friendly country. It isn't just bureaucracy. Sometimes we have outdated regulations and laws. There's a big push to modernize all of that. There's also, I think, a much greater inclination to hear from business. I find whether it's in India or when we go abroad, we actually actively solicit from business saying, please tell us your pain points.
While addressing a press conference, Dr. Jaishankar underlined that the Ukraine conflict cannot be resolved on the battlefield, adding that Russia and Ukraine have to negotiate, and if they want advice, India is always willing to give.
We don't believe that differences and disputes can be settled through war. This is not the era of war. Secondly, we don't believe in this conflict that a solution will come from the battlefield. So we do think that negotiations are the only way forward. At some point, there has to be negotiation. When there is a discussion, we also think it is essential to have Russia in it. Otherwise, the discussions don't, gain further movement.
In her address, the German foreign minister lauded the bilateral relations between the two countries.
Germany has become India's most important trading partner in the EU, and there is still huge additional potential that we would like to tap. We therefore want to further strengthen trade and investment between our two economies, especially with regard to a trade agreement. We want to make it clear that not only cooperation between countries and economic regions is important, but also between strong democracies and strong economic powers are an added value to both sides and also an added value to the world.
Germany is a crucial trading partner for India and a major source of foreign direct investment. After his Germany visit, Dr. Jaishankar will travel to Geneva, Switzerland, where he will be meeting the Swiss foreign minister to review the close partnership between the two countries and to enhance the bilateral relationship further. Dheeraj Das reporting for DD India.
And still to come here on DD India News Hour, India and the UAE, the companies in these two countries have exchanged 10 agreements. Union Home Minister Amit Shah unveils plans to train 5,000 cyber commandos. He launches the Cyber Fraud Mitigation Center. And all eyes on the US presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lin. The UAE-India Business Forum in the financial capital Mumbai saw the Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and India's Trade Minister Piyush Goyal interact with business leaders. 10 MOUs were signed taking business forward. Shama Mishra reports.
After his successful New Delhi visit, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi visited India's financial capital Mumbai, where he attended the UAE-India Business Forum. While addressing the event, Union Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said that the relationship between both the countries can be termed as owner's pride and neighbor's envy. He also said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi regards the UAE as an important partner in India's growth story.
Prime Minister Mr. Modi had said, we regard the UAE as an important partner. The local currency settlement, which first started between UAE and India, it can be a game changer in terms of bringing down our cost of trade and take the relationship and our trade to greater heights. The JAFSA Dubai is now going to host the Bharat Mart. The SIPA is truly going to start a new chapter in expanding our trade.
The UAE India Business Forum highlighted India's commitment to fostering a forward-looking relationship with the UAE. It also saw participation from senior industry leaders and sector experts from the UAE and India.
This event where we are participating today, it is very important and it can create a huge impact in terms of getting the India and UAE business relationship, especially in healthcare, much more stronger.
10 agreements between the UAE and Indian companies were exchanged. Some of the key pacts were Organic Agricultural and Processed Food Import and Promotion MOU, Abu Dhabi Chamber and Confederation of Indian Industry, Abu Dhabi Chamber and UAE India SEPA Council, Global Aviation Services, Indigo and Global Jet Technique and Air India Express, launch of the Hindi LLM developed by UAE's G42 under the guidance of the MOU on digital infrastructure.
We really feel that this is going to follow the same path, if not faster. We want to collect more data in across the Indian languages, I think, of which we already have started collecting a lot more. We want to find partners to work with in India to develop this model collaboratively.
This is Al Nahyan's first visit to India as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. The UAE is among the top 4 investors in India with stakes in infrastructure, energy and real estate.
The UAE India Business Forum in Mumbai focused on key emerging economic sectors including AI, modern technology, biotechnology, organic agriculture and many others. With camera person Gaurav Kabra, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Mumbai.
Cybercrime has emerged as a major threat with the growing use of technology in different walks of life. To make the fight against cybercrime more robust, effective and successful, the Government of India is taking many initiatives. At the inaugural Foundation Day of the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Centre in New Delhi, the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, he launched 4 key initiatives and announced that 5,000 cyber commandos are going to be prepared in 5 years and they're going to deal with cyber crimes. Let's look at this report.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah addressed the first Foundation Day program of the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Centre, I4C, as the chief guest in New Delhi on Tuesday. He also launched key initiatives for prevention of cybercrime. He dedicated the Cyber Fraud Mitigation Centre, CFMC, to the nation and launched the Samanvay platform, Joint Cybercrime Investigation Facility System.
साइबर सुरक्षा के बगैर देश का विकास इस समय में असंभव है। साइबर सुरक्षा राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा का एक अहम पहलू बन गया है। 4 प्रमुख साइबर प्लेटफॉर्म का शुभारंभ किया गया है। साइबर फ्रॉड मिटिगेशन सेंटर, मोदी जी की एक परिकल्पना थी। साइबर कमांडो का शुभारंभ, समन्वय प्लेटफॉर्म का शुभारंभ और सस्पेक्ट रजिस्ट्री इसका शुभारंभ।
India's Home Minister also inaugurated the Cyber Commandos program and Suspect Registry. He unveiled the new logo, vision and mission of I4C.
5 साल में लगभग 5,000 साइबर कमांडोज तैयार करने का लक्ष्य रखा गया है और समन्वय प्लेटफॉर्म वो भी एक प्रकार से बहुत उपयोगी साबित होने वाला है।
Cyber Fraud Mitigation Centre, CFMC, has been established at Indian Cybercrime Coordination Centre, I4C, in New Delhi with representatives of major banks, financial intermediaries, payment aggregators, telecom service providers, IT intermediaries and states UTs, and law enforcement agencies. They will work together for immediate action and seamless cooperation to tackle online financial crimes. Samanvay platform joint cybercrime investigation facilitation system. The platform is a web-based module that will act as a one-stop portal for data repository of cybercrime, data sharing, crime mapping, data analytics, cooperation and coordination platform for law enforcement agencies across the country. Cyber Commandos program. Under this program, a special wing of trained cyber commandos in states UTs and central police organizations, CPOs, will be established to counter threats of cybersecurity landscape in the country. Suspect registry. As part of this initiative, a suspect registry of various identifiers is being created based on National Cybercrime Reporting Portal NCRP in collaboration with banks and financial intermediaries for strengthening fraud risk management capabilities. Union Home Minister said that keeping in mind the complaints of cybercrime, 7 joint cyber coordination teams have been formed at Mewat, Jamtara, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Chandigarh, Visakhapatnam, Guwahati, and they have yielded very good results. Bureau Report, DD India.
The political and social landscape in Pakistan is reaching boiling point, and the Pakistani government cracked down on supporters of the former Prime Minister Imran Khan. They arrested several lawmakers as well and leaders of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party in a series of raids in Islamabad. But the Speaker of the Pakistan National Assembly has also opened an investigation into these arrests of lawmakers from inside the Parliament building. Let's look at this report.
Pakistan is on the edge. The country is marred by massive protests. These are the visuals of supporters of Pakistan's jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan. They are protesting against the current government and demanding the release of its party chief. On Tuesday, at least 6 MPs of Khan's party appeared in an anti-terrorism court, 2 days after they led a major rally in the capital. They were arrested by police on Monday night. The Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party is facing a sweeping crackdown since Khan was jailed in August last year. PTI legislator Ali Mohammed said people in plainclothes entered the parliament and arrested people's representative. He termed it an assault on Pakistan's democracy. National Assembly Speaker Ayaz Sadiq announced investigation into the illegal entry of law enforcement personnel in parliament. He also ordered all detained lawmakers to be returned to parliament. Candidates backed by the PTI won most seats in a general election in February, but fell short of the majority required to form a government. So his rivals formed a government led by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. With a history of political chaos, Pakistan is once again on the verge of political crisis. Bureau Report, DD India.
The most anticipated television debate in US presidential history has her story too for the second time. Kamala Harris will take on Donald Trump in what's being seen as a pivotal moment in the presidential race. This is the time when undecided voters will say yay or nay. DD India's Mihir Makuri tracks the importance of this debate in the context of this election.
Televised presidential debates are a cornerstone of American politics, and the one on Tuesday night promises to be particularly momentous. Presidential hopefuls Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, who have never before shared a stage, will face off in a 90-minute debate hosted by ABC News. Taking place in Philadelphia, this clash will offer both candidates the opportunity to present their unique perspectives to the United States and the world.
Generally, I think it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm interested to hear what both individuals have to say. I haven't swayed who I'm going to vote for, but I still want to hear what all parties have to say, though.
Now, let's take a look at the events after Tuesday's presidential debate. On the 1st of October, J.D. Vance and Tim Walz will face off in a vice presidential debate on CBS News. In November, citizens across the US will vote for one ticket of both president and vice president. In the US, when people cast their votes, they are actually voting for a group of people called electors. If a candidate receives the majority of votes from a state, they take the whole electoral college of that state. The presidential nominee with the most electoral votes becomes the President of the United States. Electors in the Electoral College are chosen in proportion to the state's population. They cast their votes to determine the president. Each state gets a certain number of electors based on its representation in the Congress. A total of 538 electors are selected according to each state's policy. Each elector casts one vote, and the candidate who receives more than half, that is 270 of the electoral votes, wins. The newly elected president and vice president are inaugurated in January. More than 90 electoral votes from 7 swing states are expected to be pivotal in the White House race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Let's identify these swing states and see how many electoral votes each has. Arizona has 11 electoral votes. Georgia has 16. Michigan has 15 electoral votes. Nevada has 6. North Carolina has 16. Pennsylvania 19. And Wisconsin has 10 electoral votes. While the US is a presidential system of governance, it's a combination of a direct and indirect election that determines the winner. With Mihir Mekri, Gautam Roy, DD India.
Well, on Tuesday, Apple lost its appeal against a European Union order requiring it to pay 13 billion euros, that's 14.4 billion US dollars, in back taxes to Ireland. This ruling is part of the EU's broader effort to address preferential tax deals between member states and multinational corporations. The European Commission had originally issued this order in 2016, alleging that Apple had benefited from 2 favorable Irish tax rulings that allowed it to reduce its tax rate to as low as 0.005% in 2014. That's hardly any tax at all. Google's recent loss in its fight against the 2.42 billion euro EU fine highlights an ongoing scrutiny that the company faces over its business practices. The European Commission had originally imposed a fine in 2017, accusing Google of unfairly promoting its own price comparison services over those of its competitors. Despite a lower tribunal upholding the fine in 2021, Google's appeal to the Court of Justice of the European Union has now been rejected. In addition to this fine, Google has accumulated a total of 8.25 billion euros in EU antitrust fines over the past decade. Now, these fines include penalties related to its Android operating system and AdSense advertising service. The 20th edition of the India-EU joint military exercise Yudh Abhyas 2024 is underway in the northwestern Indian city of Bikaner. The Indian Army contingent comprising 600 personnel is being represented by a battalion of Rajput Regiment along with personnel from other arms of the services. So what's happened is that the US contingent of the similar strength is being represented by troops of the 124 Battalion of the Alaska-based 11th Airborne Division of the US Army. The aim of this joint exercise is to enhance joint military capability of both these countries to undertake counterterrorism operations in subconventional scenario under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter. The exercise will focus on operations in semi-desert environment. Let's take a look now at other stories from around the world. Prince William on Tuesday visited the Welsh town of Llanelli, meeting community members and watching a performance by local school children a day after his wife, Princess Catherine, released a personal video featuring William and their 3 children announcing the end of a chemotherapy treatment. During a visit to the Swiss Valley Community Primary School, William was treated to a performance by school children who had taken part in the Welsh Language Youth Festival. The High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma, met the Finance, Commerce, Science and Technology Advisor of the Interim Government of Bangladesh, Dr. Salahuddin Ahmed, on Tuesday. They discussed ongoing development projects. They emphasized safety and security of the Indian project personnel. They also highlighted growing two-way trade and initiatives to improve cross-border trade logistics. The Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe removed 5 state ministers, including Geeta Kumarasinghe, with immediate effect. The others include Shashidra Rajapaksa, Amit Tenuka, Vidhana Mange, Prasanna Ranavira and D.V. Channaka. Earlier last week, the President had removed 4 state ministers. The removed individuals had announced their support for Sri Lanka's Pudujama Perumal presidential candidate Namal Rajapaksa. So still to come here on DD India News Hour, we're going to be discussing the Anusandhan National Research Foundation's aims and objectives. Apple launches a Made in India iPhone 16 series of smartphones loaded with all new AI features.
Welcome to Jaipur.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Here's a recap of our main stories. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs the first meeting of the governing body of the Anusandhan National Research Foundation. And he says the focus is on localized solutions for global problems. India's External Affairs Minister Jaishankar addresses the annual Ambassadors Conference of the German Foreign Office in Berlin. He seeks enhanced defense cooperation. Pakistan is on the edge. At least 6 MPs from the jailed former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's party appear in anti-terrorism court. And now let's welcome on the program Professor Abhay Karandikar. He's the Secretary in the Department of Science and Technology. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. So to what extent will ANRF help in identifying research topics and how collaborative is this approach going to be?
So ANRF as you know, is one of the major recommendations of the national education policy. And one of the important goals of the ANRF is to stimulate the latent potential that exists in our universities and colleges and facilitate research at academic institutions and also assist in establishing the research infrastructure which will be conducive for scientific pursuits. So today we discussed many strategic interventions and programs that would be launched in the coming months as a part of the ANRF. One, to uplift the scientific ecosystem of our universities. Second, to do some mission mode research in some priority sectors. And third, to also focus on translational research. And the fifth, to focus on taking our some institutions to the global standards. So these are, some of the main strategic interventions that were discussed today in the governing board meeting, which was chaired by the Honorable Prime Minister.
Right. Professor Karandikar, AI is already, playing a role in helping generate unique content for scholars. You did mention translational research. Is this a bane or is it a boon?
Artificial intelligence is, of course, is a boom in the sense that it can help solve many of the problems. Of course, there are issues in terms of its usage, and in fact, that is also one of the reasons we discussed in ANRF today, that we need to focus on interdisciplinary research center which will work at the intersection of science and humanities and social sciences. So for example, in the context of AI, we may have to discuss issues such as AI ethics, which is best done at the interface of science and humanities and social sciences. Similarly, there are other aspects like quantitative social science or public health or energy policy or environmental policy, which require this interface with the humanities and social sciences. So ANRF, apart from funding the core science and technology research, will also fund research in humanities and social sciences at the scientific and technological interface.
So you did mention about the environmental aspect now. To what extent has climate change actually changed the very purpose of research? It's now not just, about sustainability anymore. It's about the survival, actually, of the whole planet.
So I think exactly. So in fact, we identified several priority sectors today where the ANRF would fund mission mode research. And the climate change is actually one very big important area. And associated issues also related to climate change. For example, focus on, for example, e-mobility or electric vehicles.
Yes.
As you know, we have a commitment to achieve the net zero emission targets and also to reduce the carbon emissions. In this context, there are many research programs that could be launched as a part of that.
Finally, Professor Karandikar, how willing are top universities, how willing are they to collaborate with the lower ranked ones? Because, there is some process where you want to have top universities collaborate with other universities. After all, rank does matter in the end, doesn't it?
No. So I think we have both kinds of programs. One is where, the top tier universities can collaborate globally also and take their level to the global standards. But at the same time, we expect them to mentor our other universities and colleges to enhance the research culture there. So I think our universities, the top tier universities, have both roles to play.
Okay, we leave it there. Thank you very much, Professor Abhay Karandikar, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology. Thank you for throwing light on the Anusandhan National Research Foundation. Thank you, sir. Now, moving on to our next story, big tech major Apple has unveiled its artificial intelligence boosted iPhone 16 range of smartphones at its flagship Glow Time event in Cupertino. This happened Monday night, and Apple bets that AI features will drive consumers to upgrade amid the slowdown in iPhone sales. It's called Apple Intelligence, in fact. That's what the company's AI software is called, Apple Intelligence. And Apple's AI features, they are designed to transform its virtual assistant Siri into smarter and more versatile with new features such as creating customized emojis within seconds. So a test version of the Apple Intelligence will be available in the US version of the English language next month, and it's going to be available in other localized versions of English in December, and with versions of other languages including Chinese, French, Japanese and Spanish next year. The iPhone 16 lineup is the first Apple smartphone designed around AI features. And India's Minister of Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, he announced in a social media post that Apple's newly launched AI iPhone has been made in India as part of the Make in India initiative of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. Let's take a look now at other stories making the news. In a move towards boosting its surveillance and fighting capabilities, the Indian Navy is looking towards concluding 3 major defense deals this financial year, including the 31 NQ-9B drone deal, 3 additional Scorpion submarines and 26 Rafale M fighter aircraft project. The Navy also has been providing full support by the government. It's been provided full support by the government for its urgent modernization requirements, as it has been provided the highest ever capital budget. The PC manufacturer HP India is poised to enter into an agreement with Paget Electronics, which is a subsidiary of Dixon Technologies, to produce notebooks, desktops and all-in-one PCs. The collaboration took place under the Production Linked Incentive 2.0 scheme. It's expected to generate 1,500 direct jobs. Once fully operational, it aims to produce 2 million units annually. In a major relief amid the wolf attacks in Uttar Pradesh's Bharech, the forest department there has captured a 5th wolf on Tuesday. The wolf was taken to a rescue shelter of the forest department. With this, only 1 wolf is left in that area. The Bharech district administration has built shelter homes to protect the villagers from this menace. In Bageshwar district of Uttarakhand, the Child Development Department held an enlightening awareness campaign at a primary school. This is part of the Poshan Ma 2024. The event focused on the critical needs for good nutrition. Beneficiaries, the students and villagers were all in attendance. The program, it featured engaging mehendi and poster competitions, with the winners receiving well-deserved rewards. Well, still to come here on DD India News Hour, the US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is on a UK visit and has met his counterpart David Lammy in London. The Indian government announces cash rewards for its medal winners at the Paris Paralympics. And the English football captain Harry Kane is to play his 100th international match, and it's going to be against Finland. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. The US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken met Britain's Foreign Secretary David Lammy in London on Tuesday. Blinken, who is on a 2-day visit to the United Kingdom, is scheduled to meet the Prime Minister Keir Starmer to discuss efforts to support Ukraine and also the West Asia conflicts. What's happened is that the leaders will also hold talks on the UK-US strategic dialogue that covers areas of defense and security. And Blinken will also meet senior government officials, and they're discussing issues including the Indo-Pacific, the AUKUS Defence Pact between the United States, Australia and Britain. The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer avoided a major rebellion in his party on Tuesday over plans to cut £1.5 billion in winter fuel payments to the elderly after unhappy lawmakers abstained rather than voting against the government. The vote was an important test of Starmer's authority just 2 months after winning a landslide election victory, and of his plans to press ahead with some government spending cuts, which he says are vital to improving Britain's public finances. In the end, only one of the 404 Labour lawmakers voted against the plan and 53 did not vote in the House of Commons. Some lawmakers were worried that if they did not back this policy, they could face disciplinary action after the Labour government had suspended 7 lawmakers for voting against the government in July. UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, in a speech to the Trades Unions Congress, he told the delegates there that he is ready to take tough decisions and will not reverse plans to cut the payments to the elderly. Starmer also said that his main priority will be ensuring economic stability. That statement came ahead of a vote in Parliament on Tuesday to approve that decision.
I do have to make clear, from a place of respect, that this government will not risk its mandate for economic stability under any circumstances. And with tough decisions on the horizon, pay will inevitably be shaped by that.
Ukraine struck the Moscow region in its biggest drone attack so far on the Russian capital. The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is in the United Kingdom, has decided to visit Kiev this week with the British Foreign Minister David Lammy. DD India's Mihir Mekuri looks at developments on and off the battlefield.
Now in its third year, the Russia-Ukraine conflict continues to rage with no end in sight. On Tuesday, Ukraine launched its largest drone attack to date on Russia's Moscow region. The attack resulted in at least one woman being killed and numerous homes being damaged. In response, Russia claims to have downed at least 144 Ukrainian drones overnight, including 20 over the capital Moscow.
Night strikes on residential areas cannot be associated with military actions. The Kyiv regime continues to demonstrate its nature. These are enemies. We must continue the special military operation in order to protect ourselves from such manifestations of such a regime.
As a result of the Ukrainian drone strike, Moscow's skies were nearly devoured of civilian aircraft on Tuesday, with 3 of Moscow's 4 airports shutting down for more than 6 hours and nearly 50 flights being diverted. For residents of Moscow's Ramenskoye district, Tuesday night became a nightmare as drones damaged high-rise apartment buildings in the area.
We were asleep. I got up to go to work. I looked into the window and saw a ball of fire. In just a second, I covered my paws with a blanket. The window got smashed out by a shock wave.
On the battlefield, Russia has reported new gains in eastern Ukraine, stating that Ukraine's incursion into the Russian territory of Kursk failed to distract Moscow from pursuing its offensive in the Donbas region.
Speaking about the diversion of forces, of course, the offensive that is going on in Donbas, practically on the front, there are almost 1,000 square kilometers. It becomes clear that the main desire was to distract our forces so that we distract forces from there and move them to the Kursk direction. But thank God we have enough forces and the troops continue to advance.
In a move to bolster support for Ukraine, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is in the United Kingdom, met with British Foreign Minister David Lammy in London on Tuesday. After the meeting, British Foreign Minister announced that he and Blinken will jointly visit Kiev this week.
Today I can confirm that Tony and I will be travelling to Kiev this week, the first joint visit of this kind for well over a decade. We're seeing a disturbing pattern of greater Iranian support for the Kremlin's illegal war, and we discussed today our shared commitment to holding Tehran to account for their undermining of global stability.
With support from its Western allies, Ukraine wants more than 150 countries to attend a second summit meant to look at ways of ending the war with Russia. Mihir Mekuri's report for DD India.
Well, the EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell held a meeting with the Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati, and Borrell said that the European Union is ready to leverage its logistics to assist in reopening the border crossing. On Monday, he visited Egypt's side of the Rafah border crossing and toured the border operations guided by the Egyptian Red Crescent. And he also met with the country's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi.
And we also have to focus our collective effort to achieve a ceasefire and a hostage deal in Gaza, while doing everything we can to improve the catastrophic humanitarian situation of people there.
You're watching DD India News Hour. Time for the sports news. The Government of India has announced cash rewards for the para-athletes who won medals at the just concluded Paralympics. At a felicitation ceremony in New Delhi, the Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia said that gold medalists will receive 7.5 million Indian rupees, silver medalists will receive 5 million Indian rupees, and 3 million rupees will be given to bronze medalists. India had concluded its Paralympics campaign in Paris with the highest number of medals, 29 in fact, including 7 gold medals. The sports minister also pledged full support and facilities for para-athletes to aim for more medals at the Los Angeles Paralympics in 2028.
पैरालंपिक्स में हमारी सफलता दिखाती है कि देश स्पोर्ट्स सेक्टर में आगे बढ़ रहा है। हमने सब लोगों ने देखा है 2016 में हमारी टीम यहां से पैरालंपिक्स के लिए गई थी, केवल 9 एथलीट्स गए थे और उस वक्त हम 4 मेडल लेके आए। 2020 में हमारी टीम गई, उसमें 54 एथलीट थे और उस वक्त टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स में हमने 19 मेडल लेके आए और इस बार हमारी टीम और बढ़ी, 84 एथलीट्स गए और 29 मेडल लेके आए हैं। मैं फिर से उसको शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
England captain Harry Kane will receive his 100th cap when the team takes on Finland in the Nations League tournament at Wembley on Tuesday night. The 31-year-old Bayern Munich striker, who has scored 66 goals in 99 appearances for England since his debut in 2015, is the first Englishman to achieve this feat since the striker Wayne Rooney in 2014. The Football Association is set to pay tribute with a special pre-match ceremony that will include the presentation of a gold cap. The former partner of the Ugandan athlete Rebecca Cheptegei, who is accused of killing her, has died from burns sustained during that attack. Her former boyfriend, Dixon N. Diema Maran-Yukash, he allegedly doused her in petrol and then set her on fire. Cheptegei who had competed in the marathon in the Paris Olympics, suffered burns. More than 75% of her body was burnt on September 1 and she died 4 days later. Maran-Yukash, he died at a hospital where he was admitted. He had more than 30% burns to his body. Formula One's star designer Adrian Newey will join Aston Martin, a luxury British sports car manufacturer. This is on March 1 next year as the managing technical partner. He will also become a shareholder in Silverstone-based team. The 65-year-old Newey said in May that he was leaving champions Red Bull in search of new challenges. Cars designed by the Briton have won 25 championships for Williams, McLaren and Red Bull. His 2023 Red Bull was the most dominant car in the sports history with 21 wins from 22 races. The Hollywood actor James Earl Jones is best known for voicing the iconic villain Darth Vader of Star Wars and Mufasa of The Lion King. He is no more. He died at the age of 93 at his home in Pawling in New York. And he had a prolific career spanning 7 decades with performances on both stage and screen. And we do remember his wonderful voice over the years. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour, but let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. That app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Mark Leon from all of us here in Delhi. Thank you very much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.